Welcome back for another book review. I'm off camera again because life has been happening. So here we are for another book review. Today we are talking about Tarot Reversals for Beginners. I don't know how to say this author's name. To me, it looks like it's Leeza, maybe Leeza. I don't know. Robertson. Brief description of this book is that it's a great resource to have on hand if you are trying to learn the tarot or you're just struggling with the reverses, because a lot of the guidebooks, and this book mentions it, don't really have a lot. If there's anything at all, it's usually pretty brief, and the artwork typically isn't designed for it being reversed. And like, I have one deck that has this in mind, and that is, I think it's called the Revelations Tarot, but most of them don't. Most of them are really just designed for an upright, and that's it. And so when you get to those cards and they're reversed, most of the time the book doesn't really talk about what the reversed meaning is, and it just goes into a lot of the upright. And so this is a good book if you're not sure how to read them reversed. And as the title suggests, each of the cards, and it does go through every single one, does have the 5 different interpretations. And then sometimes there are just like little overviews of like the group of cards. Like the courts, it's like pages typically kind of mean this. And it's really nice that there's so much detail per card. I would rate this book a 4 out of 5 star. While this is really not an entertaining book to read, like it's pretty rough to get cover to cover. Unless you are like tarot obsessed, you're gonna get bored. There's just certain books that like you're fine to read cover to cover. And then some of them are just really more books that you have on a shelf and you flip to the section you need, and this is kind of more on that category. They're still good books, but like trying to read like Cunningham's Encyclopedia of like crystals or herbs, that's not a fun book to read cover to cover. This is the same category. It's a good reference book when you need it, but like trying to read it from beginning to end is a little rough. But the information is very helpful, especially if you're stuck on reading a particular card that's reversed. And like most of the information I feel like is pretty good, but I will say I feel like this should go right alongside if you're learning the tarot with the book Living Tarot, because the way that book has you interact with the cards, I think it would be really good when you get to dealing with reverses to pull this book out and then compare your notes. The intended audience for this book, I feel like, is just about anybody who's interested in expanding their knowledge on the tarot. There are so many ways to look at these cards, so many different ways people interpret them. And again, there's not a huge discussion on the reversals in general. So like if you are wanting to learn more about them, whether you're a beginner, intermediate, advanced, I feel like just about everyone could benefit from reading through this book. Would I buy it? Yes. Is it, again, a top of my list? No. I'm going to buy the Living Tarot first before I would get this one. But it is one that I wouldn't mind having when I'm doing a tarot reading and I'm like, what? Why? And then being able to just flip to the card that I need and being able to compare notes. And lastly, the other notes that I have, it's really short, but basically, while I appreciate the like 5 views for every card, it doesn't really specify like when it would be one of those 5 things. Like it doesn't say, unless you're like pulling the card for that intended reason, I don't know how you would differentiate which one of the aspects it's supposed to be. Because like it just says like, if you have received this card in the blocked aspect, and it's like, but how do I know that it's the blocked aspect? Because each card has blocked and protection, mirror, shadow, and retrograde. And I just feel like it would have been nice to have a little bit more of an explanation of like how to tell which one it is other than like guessing. And especially for me who does like daily polls, it's books like this that I think if I went to this book and I did my daily card poll and I got like whatever random card, like the Empress reversed, what does it mean? I don't know. So I go to this book and it doesn't really tell me. Like it's on me to decide, is it the blocked aspect? Is it the protection? Is it the mirror? Is it the shadow? Or is it the retrograde? And it's on me to figure out which one it's supposed to be. I wish there was a little bit more to help you to decide which one it would be. And like, more than just figure it out, which is how a lot of the tarot books kind of go on that. And a lot of it is just figure it out yourself. That's one of the reasons I still absolutely love the Living Tarot, because you find out those meanings for yourself throughout that book. Where this one, I wish there was a little bit more of like how to differentiate which one it's supposed to be, other than you guessing. Because if you don't know, this just made it more complicated to try and figure out an answer that you still really don't know. I would love to know what your thoughts are for this book if you have read through it. There wasn't really much discussion on this book, so I'm curious what other people think about it. Let me know in the comments down below. As always, a huge thank you to my patrons. If you want to support me and get access to exclusive content, it is patreon.com/nightwillowcrafts. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I try and post every single day. Sometimes they're later in the day than others, but aiming for my goal to have an upload every single day this year. And sometimes that means these voiceovers, because this takes the least amount of time, the least amount of effort. So I'm sorry if they're a little more boring to like just have a short little mini podcast, but some days that's just the format I need to keep up my goal of every single day, which next few days it's going to be a little bit of a struggle. So it's fine. But anyways, thank you for coming along, for watching, whether I'm on camera or I'm sitting here looking like a hot mess, talking to my phone with Office Cat, getting into all kinds of mischief. Thank you for supporting and liking and commenting. It means the world to me. And until next time, thank you so much for watching, and blessed be.